Hey guys, Gabe here, and I got another battle report for you. I'm going to be playing my High Elves, and my dad's going to be playing his Dwarves. He hasn't been playing very much fantasy recently, and he's starting to get back into the swing of things with the new Dwarves coming out next week or something. Something like that, the week after. He's pretty excited. He wants new rules, and same here. I want him to have some new rules too. Sick of those damn gunline dwarves. So yeah, the scenario we rolled up is Battle for the Pass. Our terrain is two mysterious forests, a scree slope, a wall, and an ordinary building. So that's what we got for terrain. Let's go on to deployment. Here's his deployment. He has a Demon Slayer. The runic weapon he has is Master Rune of Scalf Blackhammer. I'm pretty sure it gives like D6 wounds or something crazy like that. Good monster killer. Then he has a Grudge Thrower with the Rune of Penetrating. He has a Master Engineer with a runic armor that has Rune of Preservation. An Organ Gun, a Dragon Slayer with the runic weapon that is Master Rune of Smiting. He's got a cannon with the Master Rune of Defense, a Gyrocopter. He has a Thane BSB with the Master Rune of Swiftness, Master Rune of Gromril, I think it's Armor. And then he has a Runesmith with the Rune of Spellbreaking, and then 31 Warriors with full command. He then has an Anvil of Doom with a Rune Lord, and 2 Anvil Guards, I believe, Rune of Fire, Rune of Preservation, Master Rune of Spellbinding on the Anvil. And then he has 20 Corridors with full command, which were his scouts, and I didn't realize he had scouts, so I put all of my stuff up on the line because I had a long ways to go playing Battle for the Pass, and he put all of his stuff on the back side of his table, so I had 2 turns to be able to even get to him, so I'm going to have to weather a lot of shooting. I have 2 units of 5 Shadow Warriors that I just put up in front of his war machines to try to take some shooting there instead of my big block of Phoenix Guard and all my other stuff. Alright, on my side I have 19 Phoenix Guard with Caradrian, a Noble BSB with the Banner of Swiftness, 5 Ilorian Reavers, a Frostheart Phoenix, 20 Archers with a Musician, 3 Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, 2 up on the line and 1 in the back, 20 Archers with another Musician. I have Altherian the Grim, which is my general, and he's on Stormwing. Stormwing, and level 2 Lore of Metal. Then I have a Lion Chariot of Trace and 5 more Illyrian Reavers. My spells are Searing Doom and Enchanted Blades of Abane. My Reavers Vanguard up 12 inches. And my dad gets first turn, so is Gyrocopter Copter, yeah, not Chopter, Copter, moves up, and the Warriors try to swift reform and fail, so they just reform to point toward the forest and go toward my Phoenix Guard. He has no magic because he's a dwarf, so in the shooting phase, the Anvil of Doom kills 2 Reavers. His cannon fired at my Phoenix, but I ward saved it, so the Phoenix does no wounds. His organ gun then kills 3 Shadow Warriors that were in the middle. Then the Gyrocopter kills another Shadow Warrior, and I passed my panic test, so there's just 1 Shadow Warrior sitting there now. Oh man, those dwarves. So much shooting. He was rolling really good too. Here is where my father and I made a very, very big mistake. We don't really know how the Grudge Worker grudge thrower works, and neither do I, because I haven't really seen one before, or played against anybody that had a uh, catapult or anything like that. So he aims it on Ethereon, and it drifts 2 inches, and it hits the chariot and Ethereon, but the center peephole isn't over anybody. We didn't know that the center peephole is the only thing that causes d6 wounds until later on in the game when I talked to my brother-in-law Luke Davis, because we called him about another rule. So yeah, so we thought the whole template did d6 wounds, so it wounds everything. I can't save a thing, um, because I couldn't roll ward saves to save my life. So yeah, he kills the chariot, does 4 wounds to Stormwing and 2 wounds to Ethereon, so they're both sitting on 1 wound left. So yeah, that was huge, so huge. And then his Corlers take aim, and they get the last 2 wounds, one on each of both Ethereon and Stormwing, and kill them. Um, I really wish that I knew the rules for this, and my dad's still pretty new at the game, so he wasn't sure about the rules. So yeah, this was a really big mistake, because I think it's like a 750 point swing in the first turn, because we didn't know the rules correctly for the grudge thrower. So yeah, it was definitely huge power swing just in that one shot with the grudge thrower, because we didn't know the rules. But in the future, this won't happen again, because now we know. High Elves turn 1. Because I'm hurting so bad with losing all that stuff, I decide to charge my last Shadow Warrior into his cannon to try to hold it up for a turn so I can get closer, so he's not picking off my stuff with his cannon. I make it. I then move my Shadow Warriors and yeah, my Reavers up along the side going toward the Anvil of Doom. I then move my Phoenix in front of my my Archers and my Phoenix Guard, and I move both my Phoenix Guard and Archers up, because my Archers aren't in range because he's so far away, and I need to get my Phoenix Guard up in combat. My other Archers move up, they march. My Reavers move up on this side of the board. I have no magic now because Ethereon is no longer on the table. In my shooting phase, this bolt thrower kills 1 Corler. Both of my other bolt throwers fire at his gyrocopter, and I only do 1 wound. I do the repeater shots, so 12 shots, and I only land 1 wound with the 12 shots, so I was kind of disappointed with that. And everything else can't shoot. My 2 Archers march, so they can't shoot this turn. In close combat, I don't get any wounds on him, and he just swings and knocks my Shadow Warrior over the head, and he falls to hit his head on some rocks after that. Yeah, so he's dead. Yeah. Dwarves turn 2. His warriors charge my Shadow Warriors. I stand so they don't flee right off the board, so he has to work for those points. His gyrocopter moves to shoot at the Reavers. In his shooting phase, his Anvil of Doom fails to cast Ancient Power. I'm not sure what he was trying to cast it on. I don't know if he was trying to throw it on my Phoenix Guard or the Archers, but he fails to cast. But on the misfire attempt, or table, he rolls a 4, so nothing happens this turn, and he can still cast again next turn. His gyrocopter kills 3 of my Reavers. His grudge thrower and cannon fire at the Frost Phoenix and fails to wound. Very happy about that. Another phase that my Frost Phoenix doesn't die. Um, his organ gun takes aim on these 5 Reavers and they blow them away. They just, yeah, no more Reavers. I'm pretty sure I didn't have any saves because of the strength 5 or something like that. So yeah, kills them all. I think he got 6 hits and just 6 wounds. In close combat, he kills all 5 Shadow Warriors, and I don't do anything to him, so he reforms. High Elves turn 2. The Frosty moves over, so the Phoenix Guard can march up. They have the Banner of Swiftness, so they can march 12 inches. And the Frost Phoenix didn't move up right next to the Phoenix Guard because his movement is 10, so he can still make a really good charge along with the Phoenix Guard, so he just moved to the side. In the shooting phase, I target 20 shots from my archers and both middle bolt throwers at the gyrocopter, and I can't wound this thing. I mean, just total rolling terribly. It was a very frustrating game. He was rolling like crazy for all of his shooting, and I was just rolling so bad for mine. Yeah. So, this bolt thrower does another wound on his correlers, so there's only 2 left. Or I've only taken 2, so there's 18 left, I think. Dwarves turn 3 is Warriors march into the forest in front of my Phoenix Guard. I think he rolls for the woods now, and I think they're the Abyssal Wood, which I think causes fear, or whichever one causes fear. His correlers march closer to the bolt thrower, and then in the shooting phase, he uses his anvil to charge them into the bolt thrower. So yeah, his correlers are in that bolt thrower now. In the rest of his shooting phase, his cannon undershoots the Frosty. I think it landed like 2 to 4 inches in front of the Frost Phoenix, so he missed. But then he takes aim with the Grudge Thrower on the Phoenix, and it drifts 2 inches, so the center hole is not over the base. But we don't know the rule yet, so yeah. I failed to save it, and he rolls a 6 for wounds, so the Frost Phoenix dies, because we still don't know the correct rules at this point in the game. I think my next turn is when I call my brother-in-law to get a ruling on something else, and we found out then. His gyrocopter then fires with the template and kills 4 Phoenix Guard. I think he had almost all of them underneath it, and I only lost 4, so pretty happy about that. In close combat, I do 1 wound to him, and he kills both crew members, and then reforms to point at the other bolt throwers. High Elves turn 3. I charge my Phoenix Guard into the Warriors, and my archers move into the building on the left, and I actually kill the gyrocopter in my shooting phase with the bolt thrower. I think I shot with the archers as well, but they did no wounds again. 20 archers right up close, and they're not doing anything for me. The other bolt thrower kills 3 more correlers, so I think he's down to like 15 now, so slowly dwindling them down. In close combat, I am ready to cut off the beards of those damn dwarves. I'm ready to cut them off, and hopefully they lose their strength and just run away. Yeah, so hopefully that happens. Who knows? I issue a challenge with Caradrian, which he accepts with his unit champ. So we do the challenge first, and I get 3 wounds on his champ, so he dies. And then I was wondering if, because Caradrian's sword does D3 wounds, so I was wondering if those 3 wounds that I did could multiply so I get more overkill. So here's where I called my brother-in-law Luke, and I asked him if the D3 wounds would happen, but he informed me that they wouldn't because the champion only had 1 wound. So after talking to him a couple minutes, the topic came up about if the template does d6 wounds the whole way around, and he told us no, it's only the middle, and if you're killing a monster that has a mount on it, only 1 takes the d6 wounds. In this case, nothing would have taken d6 wounds in either case when he killed my Chariot, Ethereon, Stormwing, and my Frostheart Phoenix. So after knowing this mistake, my dad was really good, and he offered for me to put back on the models that he took off with the Grudge Thrower. And thinking about it, if I put back Ethereon and the Chariot, it was so far away that it would have really changed the whole aspect of the game. So I was like, no, all I want back is the Frostheart Phoenix, because it was in the last turn, and it wouldn't really have changed the face of the game very much. So he allowed it. So my Frostheart Phoenix came back on with 1 wound, because that's what the Grudge Thrower would have done. And I told him that I would have, if he was there, I would have charged him into his warriors as well. So he also allowed that. So my Frostheart Phoenix is back because we know the rules now, and he's in with the warriors to help me out with the Phoenix Guard trying to kill those damn warriors. So yeah, I already did the 3 wounds on the warrior champion. So I have 3 total points toward combat res already. In the rest of the close combat, I do 7 wounds with the Frost Phoenix. Pretty sure I did all 4 wounds with his attacks, and then 3 wounds with Thunderstomps. So 7 wounds with that Frost Phoenix. And because he gives the enemy unit always strikes last and -1 to armor saves, not armor saves, -1 to strength, it really turned this combat around for me. I then get 7 more wounds with the Phoenix Guard, and I do 1 wound with my Noble. He does 1 wound to the Phoenix, 1 wound to the Phoenix Guard with his Thane, and 1 wound to the Phoenix Guard with his Runesmith. So in total, I did 15 wounds to him, and he did 3 to me. Yeah, and then 2 points of overkill. I win by 16, and he's not steadfast because I killed so many that we both had 1 rank left over. So he needs Snake Eyes to stick. He fails both times. I pursue with both units, and I run him down with the Phoenix. I think I rolled a 7, he rolled an 8, but he's -1 because he's a dwarf, so it was 7 and 7, so I equaled. And then the Phoenix Guard rolled 2 inches. I rolled double 1s for the Phoenix Guard, so they started walking, got really tired, and stopped. Dwarves turn 4. His Slayer characters move over toward the Frost Phoenix because they're really good at killing monsters, so he wants to get them into the Frost Phoenix as soon as he can. In his shooting phase, he fails to wound the Frost Phoenix with his cannon and organ gun, and the Grudge Thrower drifts off the Frost Phoenix onto the Phoenix Guard, killing 3 of them. His Correlers then kill a Bolt Thrower, and there's no close combat. So on to High Elves turn 4. I charge my Frost Phoenix into his cannon, and I try to charge my Phoenix Guard into his Anvil of Doom to try to get those points, but I failed. I then move these archers up to shoot at his Slayer. but I failed to hit anything in the shooting phase. I didn't do any wounds on anything that I tried shooting at. In close combat, I do 2 wounds to his crew. He does none back to me. I then stomp on him and do 3 more wounds to destroy the cannon. Stomped on those dwarf heads. I overrun only 5 inches. I was really hoping that I could get off the board, so I would come back on like turn 5 or something like that, or turn 6. I was really hoping I'd get off the board, because he then, on his turn, dwarf turn 5, he makes a really long charge with his Demon Slayer, which was the furthest Slayer away, because I was out of the arc of the Dragon Slayer, but he made a really long charge with the Demon Slayer and made it in. I think he needed like a 9 or 10, which is quite a bit, but he made it, so yeah. And then he moved his other Slayer, his Dragon Slayer, over to the Phoenix, so he could then potentially use his anvil to get into combat, which he does in the shooting phase. He casts the, I don't know what it's called, but uses the anvil to get the Dragon Slayer into combat with the Phoenix as well. So yeah, I got 2 damn Slayers in in my flank. So yeah, they're pretty damn good too. Uh, in shooting phase, he can't. I don't think he did anything. I think he failed to wound everything that he tried doing with his shooting. So yeah, shooting passed by him on this turn. In close combat, he does 2 wounds with his Demon Slayer, and nothing with his Dragon Slayer. So I have 1 wound left, so I'm able to do some damage. I do 1 wound to the Dragon Slayer. I was really hoping I could kill the Dragon Slayer, so then I would just be able to stomp on the um, Demon Slayer, because then I wouldn't have to roll for hitting. It would just be auto hits at strength 6 to toughness 5. So I was really hoping I could kill the Dragon Slayer. So I only got 1 wound on the Dragon Slayer, so the stomps had to be split individually. I think I rolled 3, so 1 stomp went on the Demon Slayer, and 2 stomps went on the Dragon Slayer. So I killed the Dragon Slayer, and I did 1 wound to the Demon Slayer. I lost by 1, but I roll an 8 and I stick. Elves turn 5. I tried to charge the anvil again, and I fail again. I rolled really low again. I only think I needed like a 7 to get there, or not even that. But yeah, I fail again. They even have the banner of swiftness, so they're +1 to movement. So that shouldn't happen. So in my shooting phase, I get 3 wounds on the Coilers, and I failed to wound with the bolt thrower. So my archers from the building take aim and shoot. I didn't realize earlier that I think they can shoot in a 360-degree direction. So I thought about it later after like 2 turns of not being able to shoot with those guys. But yeah, so I do 3 wounds with them this time. In close combat, he does the last wound on the Frost Phoenix before I can even fight. Poor Frosty. You'll be missed. He then reforms to look at the Phoenix Guard. Dwarves turn 6. He moves his Slayer toward the Phoenix Guard. He gets 1 wound on the Bolt Thrower with his Coilers, and everything else fails to do anything. I'm pretty sure his Grudge Thrower not landed. He centered it on my Phoenix Guard, and it drifted 10 inches toward um, his anvil, and it actually hit the anvil, but it failed the wound. So, oh well. Yeah, no close combat, so it goes to High Elves turn 6. I finally get into the anvil with my Phoenix Guard. I think it's time to dance all over that Dwarven rock. In my shooting phase, the archers in the building and the bolt thrower land 3 wounds each on the corlers, but he passes his panic check. I was really hoping I could get those points and make him panic off the board. That would have been amazing. But nope, he stuck in there. I think there's 5 guys left out of 20. Just been whittling them down all game, but nothing to kill them in combat, so they stay. In close combat, I only do 2 wounds with 2 heroes and 4 Phoenix Guard. And I'm pretty sure um, I landed 2 wounds with Caradrian, and those are the multi-wound ones, and he saved them with like 2 6-up saves or something crazy like that. So yeah, I only get 2 wounds out of all those attacks. He fails to wound me, so I think the only guy left on there was his Rune Lord, but I win by like 5, but he's unbreakable, which I didn't know until he told me. So yeah, so we stay in combat at the end of the game. After counting up the points, my dad had a 233 point lead on me. So he has a 10-9 win. I definitely think that it would have been a lot different if we knew the rules for the grudge thrower. But that happens. Still learning. Every game we play, we learn a new rule. So, um, and yeah, I really got screwed by playing Battle for the Past because he was just able to sit back there and pick me apart with all his shooting, and it took me like 2 to 3 turns to even get to him, and my fast stuff was already dead, so I couldn't make it there. So yeah, it was a good game. It was a very frustrating game for most of it for me until I was able to get my Frost Phoenix and his and my Phoenix Guard into his warriors and just cut him down. Uh, that turned the game around for me, um, which it was a good game all in all. But yeah, very frustrating in the beginning, but it turned around and we had a good time. But yeah, uh, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section, and hopefully you like and subscribe to me. But yeah, I should have another battle board up in a week or two, so stay tuned. All right, thanks.